folks, JD here, and today we've got this. This is a 1 in 20 scale RC car, and it's called the Max Cheetah. Okay, let's open this up and have a little look. Now, I normally try and stay away from very cheap cars, but a friend of mine actually set me a bit of a challenge, and that was to find out if he gave me £15, what car could I get for that amount of money? So I thought about it and thought, well, you know, there's quite a few, but then I opted for this because this did seem to be the best pick out of the bunch. So what we've got in here to begin with is we've got a little accessory bag, transmitter, and we've got a car with a manual also. Okay, so let's first of all have a little look at this car. So 1 in 20 scale, so not very large. Next to a hand, it's roughly, there we are, you can see it's almost the same size from my wrist. It actually is the same size from my wrist to the top of my fingers there, so it is quite small. It's very, very light. It has independent suspension, front racks and back, or independent on the front, and then the back is a rack setup. So for the front you have independent either side, and then on the back this is what the rack setup looks like. The whole of the back end moves rather than the individual wheels themselves. This is where the motor is housed. I imagine this is going to get quite warm because there doesn't seem to be any holes whatsoever inside or on of this particular motor mount. So you are going to find that it is going to get quite warm. The battery of this should take about 2 hours to charge, and it should give you about 15 minutes of drive time. Oh, let's open that up. Right, okay. So here we have it. So there's no serviceable parts in here whatsoever. There are a couple of screws which you can undo. So let's take a couple of seconds and have a little look and see. I believe this is just a protective covering for the receiver unit. So if I take that, I'm basing that on the fact that the antenna, there we are, yeah, there's the receiver just inside there. Okay, so the antenna does poke through there as well. So that is... it's quite tidy, so there's nothing in there that you can service. Come on, there we go. And then likewise you've got screws at the back here holding on the back end of the car. You've got screws at the front here holding on the front end of the car. So all in all, that is pretty much all that you've got to service. Is just, well, that isn't serviceable at all. Serviceable parts on this would be the suspension, because you have got the option, the possibility of the screws here, of replacing the suspension racks, and once again of replacing the tyres here. The tyres are rubber, by the feel of it, very thin rubber, but still rubber nonetheless. They've got a standard on-road, off-road type pattern to them, so you should see that that actually works quite well on tarmac. I'm going to be testing this on the usual tarmac space that we use, just simply because that is not smooth. It is all over the place. There are lumps and bumps, there's gravel, there's earth, there's everything on there, and it is a very good way to test out these cars. So the decals on the top of this and the plastic look very, very nice. You get that no matter what cars you buy, no matter what the price, but for the price of £15 it actually looks really quite nice. It's very colourful, it does stand out, it is made of very thick plastic and very durable plastic as well. Now on the underside here is where your battery lies. So your battery is just inside there like that. It is a standard 4 AA battery assembly, which is all linked together. Oh, come on. And then there is a little switch here on the underside, which is quite tricky to get to, that you can enable, that you can then pull this battery out. So this battery is a 4.8 volt 700 milliamp hour battery pack, and it will take up to 2 hours to charge. Now, as I say, from that you should get up to about 15 minutes of drive time. You also have your manual trim settings, so left and right manual trim. When I received this, it was dead center. That is the standard way that you are looking to drive this. If you do start to move these to the left or right, you'll see these front wheels move to the left and right also. Your on and off button is just situated up here, little red on and off button. Push it down once to turn on, and then push it back up to turn off. There's no LEDs on here that I could find anyway. That'll let you know exactly what the state of your car is, if it's on or off. There's also a little DC for direct current button hole there as well, but that hole just goes straight through. There is nothing in there whatsoever, so you have to take the battery out in order to charge. All in all though, for £15, that looks quite nice. So let's put that to one side. Now the manual. Now inside here it just goes into how to connect the battery, as well as a couple of warnings and a couple of do's and don'ts as well of driving the vehicle. As we've had a little look, you get your battery charger as well as a little screwdriver in the pack. Now your transmitter, this is quite nice, and on something as cheap as this I did not expect to find this. You have a left and a right side, so if you're left-handed or right-handed, or if you prefer to use one more than the other, then you can switch over the steering wheel over to whichever side you find easiest, and then by hitting the button here, the transmitter will know whether you're on the right side or whether you're on the left side. That is very, very funky. I haven't seen that with a lot of transmitters. I've seen them with a lot of expensive cars, but not with a lot of very cheap cars like this, and this is a very, very good thing to have on here. On and off button, quite simply on there. You have your standard accelerate and reverse configuration here, and you have your left and right. Left and right, lovely little click, so you know exactly when you're reaching the top end of your steering wheel, and likewise, nice little click there with the throttle also. That is it for buttons. 2 buttons here, on and off and left and right, whichever one you prefer. LED status light on the top, as well as on the back here you have got your little battery bay. Now inside here you should put in 2 AA batteries. This transmitter does not allow USB charging of any sort, so you have got to ensure the batteries are fully charged and ready to go before you take this guy out for a little test. But this steering wheel, I like that. I like the left and right option. That is very good, and it is really simple to do. You just click up and then click out, and then you can drive whichever way you prefer then. Very, very good. Alright then folks, so what do you get in this pack altogether? Well, you get your little bag of accessories, you get your transmitter, you get the car itself, obviously the battery for the car, and you get the manual as well. So this is everything that you get. So there we are folks, thank you ever so much for watching and listening. I've been JD, you've been fantastic as always. If you haven't already, please like and subscribe. Hello and welcome to all the new subscribers, I hope you're enjoying the channel. So until next time my friends, happy racing.